Hello beautiful and welcome back to my channel and welcome to this what am I filming? Oh, ranking. Hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this rankings review roundup kind of a situation where I am going to be going through some of the things that I have been trying out as of late. Usually I try things out between like 3 and 8 weeks, and then I come back and I do this review roundup ranking where I rank and review all the things that I've been trying from the absolute worst to my new holy grail. And if you haven't been before, do consider subscribing because I do upload quite a lot of videos all about makeup and beauty, and I would love to see you in my next one as well. I'm feeling a little bit all over the place because this is actually the first video that I'm filming since I launched my very own brand, Cinch Beauty. I will leave a link to the website down below in case you are interested, but yeah. I feel like I forgot how to do this, but hello, welcome back. This is probably not I probably had videos throughout this entire journey, but just know that this is the first one I'm sitting down to actually film. I did film this look. I used the Moonfall palette by Shroud. I will say I did have quite a lot of troubles, so I actually had to redo my makeup. Like I had to take it off and then put it back on, and I used the Creepy Cute together with it. These shadows just didn't blend out seamlessly for me. They left a really jaggedy and kind of muddy edge, so I had to take it off and redo it. Maybe I forgot how to do makeup. I have no idea, but that was my first and second impression as well, because yeah, I did do one look and then wipe it off. We are gonna start at the absolute bottom. I don't know if I have any like duds. I usually start at the bottom and then I work my way up to my absolute favorites. Did I have any duds? Hold. Oh wait, I did have a product that I don't really recommend. Well, you can see why I don't recommend this one. Sir, I'm gonna need you to simmer down. Okay. This is the Kasha Beauty Bento Bouncy Blendable Highlighter. That's what it's called. And this is in number 01 Toy Alien. This is, first of all, I mean, this formula isn't apparently 100% stable. I did get sent this SPR. I do like a lot of products from this brand, but this one wasn't really a hit for me. This is a putty highlighter that is, according to me, a lesser quality than the ones from Colourpop, and it's probably double the price. I would say just go with the Colourpop ones. This one wasn't my favorite. The next one I'm gonna mention, and this makes me sad because I've been loving so many things from Tarte and I've been seeing people loving this one. I'm not convinced. This is the Tarte blush tape. I have mine in peach. I do have a video with this one. It looks very glowy and pretty on the skin, but it is very watery to the point where it lifts everything, and it's not pigmented enough so that like if you build it up you can just, you know, tap over and blend over the unevenness from where this was like lifting. It's for me, this isn't really a blush. This is just a blush topper or a slightly tinted highlighter. I just don't love this formula as much as this isn't the same good formula as the Charlotte Tilbury one. The Charlotte Tilbury one doesn't lift my foundation, or even if I put it on top of powder, it doesn't lift and create a patchiness. This does. It is too liquidy, it is too sheer. I love the idea, I just don't love the execution. The next thing I'm gonna mention, this makes me super sad. I don't hate this one, but it doesn't perform the way I would like it to perform. I'm still gonna be using it, but this is a stain. This is from Stila, and this is the Calligraphy Lip Stain. I have mine in Ruth, which is in orange, and it is so incredibly pretty. Like, I can't explain to you how pretty this is, but for me, it doesn't stain enough. If I eat, everything is gone. All of the color is gone, and there's like no stain. So I feel like this one goes on like a stain. It looks like a stain, but it doesn't stain. It's like a, I don't know what this is. It's like a lipstick that's cosplaying as a stain. Like it's trying, but like you had one job and that's to stain. I don't feel like it's stained. So for me, I'm gonna have to play around with this a little bit more, but I haven't really like felt the stain. It looks pretty, but I can't get this to last, which for me is why I would use a stain. I'm gonna mention these. It's not necessarily because I don't like the formula, but like you have to rank them somewhere, and these are the Game Beauty and Persona 5 lip products that they released. I thought that these were going to be matte liquid lipsticks, but these are more like liquid lipsticks with, they're not shiny like a gloss, but they don't like 100% dry down. And for me, these aren't my colors. These aren't my colors. I understand that these are meant to be like part of the franchise, and they're probably a million percent exactly what you would expect when it comes to this game. And I'm going to be ranking some of the other things from the collection really high today. These just aren't my colors. I'm never gonna be having lips this color. It's not in the cards for me. Sorry. Next, I'm actually going to mention this one, and I think the only reason why I'm mentioning this here, this isn't a bad palette. It's a nice palette. Are these the best eyeshadows she has ever done? I think they're good Natasha Denona eyeshadows. I will say this one is not as easy to build as some of her other dark shadows, but there's nothing interesting about this palette. Like, she has done literally done this theme 3 times before. This is her 4th love palette, and I'm just not convinced. There's also a blush in here that some people like the formula, some people don't like the formula, some people love the color, some people hate the color, and I think for that reason you would see why I would put it lower, because it's just not a blush that's for everyone. If you have a warmer skin tone like me, I am a light medium with a golden neutral undertone. I think I washed off all of my sunless tanner now while I've been like, you know, packing orders and showering and stuff. I just don't love a pale, more white-based cool tone blush like this on me. I think it looks weird, so it's not for me. Love the highlighter though. I wish that we can get these highlighters in singles. She had them in the, if you want that highlighter formula but in something else, the My Perfect, was it called My Perfect Collection or My Dream Collection? The Dream Collection, was it called that? Am I making stuff up? I might be making stuff up, but that trio that had 2 highlighters, a cream and a powder and a blush, which is more of a neutral leaning reddish like mauve blush. Love that little face palette. So if you were interested in that highlighter formula, it's in that palette, and I would 1,000,000% recommend it over this one. It's not bad. I just don't see the point of this one. There are so many things that Natasha Denona could be bringing to her brand, and I don't know if anyone was really asking for a 4th love palette. Then I'm gonna mention the 2 mini palettes by Urban Decay. These I'm only mentioning because of the color choices. I don't think there's anything wrong with the quality of these, if I'm gonna be honest. I think that, oh my god, except maybe opening them. I think the mattes work pretty good. This one is really pigmented, like you can use it as an inner corner highlight. I think the shimmers are really pretty. They're down, those kind of shimmers, they're not super emollient, but they still show up and look really beautiful. I usually spray, like I pick up like product with my brush and then I spray my brush before going on the lid, and when I used like that, I didn't have any problems at all with any of these palettes. This is the one that's called Chill Happy, which is that like pinky purpley one, and then we have one that is called the Mucho Happy, which has this beautiful yellow. I actually wore this yellow as a 1 eyeshadow look when I went to a gathering with that my neighbors invited me to, and I really did enjoy it. Again, this one is super pigmented. You can use it as an inner corner highlight. I think that these are good quality. They're just not color stories that I would reach for. I love the size of these palettes, and here's the thing, if Urban Decay were to release some of these with this quality and a color story that really spoke to me, I would probably rank it top 3, because I think the only thing that's really holding me back is that I don't love the color stories of them. Love the packaging though, absolutely stunning packaging. I'm just 100% sold on this whole thing. I'm also going to mention this highlighter by Nomad Cosmetics, and I'm only mentioning this because this is a fairly expensive highlighter. This is a baked highlighter, Sunscape highlighter in Clarity, and I don't think that this is as seamless and like melts into the skin as some of the other highlighters that we have started to see coming out on the market the past couple of years, like the Natasha Denona highlighter I just mentioned. There's nothing wrong with this highlighter. I just feel like the formula is a little dated, and for that reason it's not my favorite. I'm gonna be mentioning some highlighters coming up in this video that I really have been enjoying, and if you missed my rankings from last month, I actually did rank a highlighter in the #1 position last month, and I have really truly been enjoying that one so much that I'm thinking about getting a second shade, and that's when you know that I've really been loving it. I'm gonna mention the first palette from the Phantom Thieves Well, this is the Persona 5 collection with Game Beauty. Again, the only reason why I'm mentioning this here is because of the color choice. I think that these shadows are really beautiful. I have really had a lot of fun with them, but this is more of a traditional, again, like, it probably makes so much sense with this game. But for me, it is not the kind of color story that's inspiring to me. I do love colorful makeup. Like, I'm wearing something green today. I love colorful makeup. I love colorful things. I just feel like these are a little bit too primal and too like expected to be like my perfect. The other palette in this collection though, you're gonna have to wait quite a few positions to see that one. This is the NYX Professional Thick It Stick It Brow like gel kind of a thing. I actually like this for what it is, but since this is colored and since the spoolie is actually kind of big for someone who has naturally, I don't necessarily have thin brows, my brows are just laying down. So when I brush them up, this is my own like brow hairs. They have long brow hairs, they're just naturally just laying down. So if I brush them up, I feel like I get a good like thickness to my brows. But since I have then pretty sparse like brow hairs, this one gets on my skin because it's colored. I like the product, I like the color, and the more I've used it, the more I've realized it's the applicator. This applicator with the color to the product is just not made for people that have a little bit more thinner and sparse brows like me, because it's so easy to get it on the skin, and I don't want that. So if this one had a smaller like spoolie, I think that we would really be singing a different tune, because I like the product, I just don't like the brush that comes with it. I am wearing this one today, and this is the Urban Decay Quickie Concealer. I don't hate this concealer, but I will say it does settle in my fine lines. I covered up basically my entire like area with green today, so you can't see anything. But if I go in and watch, I can see that it's settled into some of my fine lines here. And it's a good concealer. It does what it's supposed to do. I don't think that this is the most full coverage concealer in my collection. It's easy to blend, it's easy to set down. It is not totally crease proof, and it's not the most high coverage concealer that I have, but it's fairly long lasting. It doesn't look like poop under my eyes after a 12-hour day. I'm definitely gonna keep using it, but it's just not a favorite. I have others I like more. I'm gonna be mentioning a Colourpop palette, and this is the Snow White The Dreams Come True palette. I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with this palette, just that this color story isn't really screaming to me. And I also don't think that this is, you know, sometimes Colourpop does like really amazing, awesome, wow, just knock it out of the park formula, and then they do good formula, and then sometimes they do something that's a little bit more mediocre. This is the good formula. Had this been the formula that like knocking it out of the park, I think I would have been able to like be more okay with the color story not being 100% my aesthetic. But since it is just the good formula and a color story that doesn't 100% fit me, I think I'm a little bit more like, nah, I don't know. If this had been a matte, or if this had been a matte, or if this had been a matte, we'd probably be singing a little bit of a different tune. But it's the fact that the three bright colors in this palette are all this somewhat traditional shimmer. This red, I would even argue, is a satin. It just makes it a little bit like, I don't really know with my makeup aesthetic where I'm going with this palette. With that being said, I mean, the front, the theming, all of it is absolutely stunning. It's just not a color story that's made for someone who likes a lime green in the corner. I want to be mentioning the blushes as well from the Game Beauty collection, and this is simply boiling down to, I'm not a person that wears matte blushes. I almost never have a matte cheek. I just don't do that. And if I wear a matte blush, I always go over with something shimmery on top. I just never do a matte blush. It's not my journey. I do like the colors, especially this one that's almost like a beigey pink. It is called Queen. That one is really nice. I also really love this one that's a red. I've been really into red blushes, and this red blush is called Violet. I'm guessing she's a character in the game. This is not one of the games that I have been playing, and it's this pretty pigmented red that you definitely could use as an eyeshadow as well. I'm sure it might stain a little bit though. Those are my two favorite colors, but then we have two colors that, again, with me and my preference and my like undertone with my skin, are just not colors I reach for. A pale bubblegum pink, and then we have a lavender. Again, if you have a cooler skin tone, if you want to try something fun, this definitely could be something. I don't think the formula is bad, it's just me and matte blushes. What can I say? Ace Beauté came out with an Ultimate Sculpt face palette, and as you can tell, I've only been using the 2 shades here. I think the formula of this one is beautiful. I'm fairly sure that this one was released as part of a subscription box, and then they just had a bunch that they put up on the site as well. So this was just like launching in a subscription box, but I would really love to see this one come back in the future, but maybe as duos instead, because nobody, unless you're a working makeup artist, which I'm no longer working as a makeup artist, nobody needs to have all 4 shades for you. So I use this one to like deepen up, and then I blend with the light one, and that works beautiful for me. Those are perfect for me. And if you have more of a tan to deep skin tone, I'm sure these would be beautiful for you. So I really wish that this one would come back, but not as a, I'm happy it's not a 6 or an 8 pan. Do you remember those big contour palettes from like 2015, 16, 17? That was a lot. That was a lot, so I'm happy that it's not that. I just wish that it was even smaller so that it could make sense for even more people. But as a release in a like a subscription box, doing a quad that would fit most people, I think that makes sense. But I really hope it comes back in another way. I also have the lipsticks. I'm pretty sure that these are Queen Musia lipsticks. First of all, these packagings, absolutely stunning. Do they look a little bit like sex toys? Yes, they do. Do I care? Not really, because they're so cute. They're like a mix between, like, this is the answer to the question, what if a unicorn horn was made into a vibrator? They'd look like this. They're soft touch, they're very beautiful. They come in more traditional lipstick colors. This one was Dorian, and I've also been using the Becky Sharp. Looks like this. A little bit lighter than what I have today. I like this formula. This is a matte lipstick. It goes on like a satin, but it dries down. It's pretty long wearing. It's very nice feeling on lips. I've been traveling with these. I've been using these quite a lot. If I could like say any constructive feedback about like what I would want with these, is that they smell like a lipstick. And I would like them to smell like a vanilla or something. It's just something that I prefer with lip products. This is just a personal preference. And I would also like to say that the shade of like colors that's offered, none of them are really 100% my style. They're a little bit more traditional, fashion Instagrammer model-esque. You know what I'm saying, right? I just wish that there was something that was maybe a traditional red, maybe something that's a beigey brown, just something that was a little bit more colors that would hit a home run in the beauty community. And I feel like this color story is more towards a different audience than maybe the beauty community. Nothing wrong with the colors, it's just not 100% what I'm looking for. I'm having these in my brows today, and this is the Half Magic Grippy Brow. It's what I have in my brows today, and I was able to pretty much get them to stand up today. Will say, do I love this as much as I love my Patrick Ta one? No. But I also want, you know, people are like, oh, it's a flexible hold. I don't want that. I want a BDSM hold. I want a non-flexible hold. I want it to be glue. I want it to be super glue. I want it to be like hard to get out with a makeup remover. I want nothing to be able to touch these brows. So when it says flexible hold, it's not my thing. This one is a sculpting gel, and it is supposed to be more, not like necessarily to get your brows to be like stuck in place like glue, but it's definitely more of a gripping and firming and really like tackling your brow hairs and making them bend towards your will, basically. It's not as tough as the Patrick Ta one. So if you have really hair, my hairs, like I said before, they really want to lay down. So I really have to have a crunchy, like I said, BDSM hold to get them to really stick up. And this one doesn't 100% do that. But if you want something that has an amazing hold without being that hold, I think you might really like this one. I love the brush of it, because the brush of it has longer bristles on some sides and shorter bristles on some sides, and it really makes it easy to get the product in there and brush it off. And I really do like this one. I just, for me, wish it had just a little bit more hold. I have the single multi-chrome shadows here from Game Beauty, and I think that these are amazing, especially for the price. Like, these are multi-chrome shadows. This one is in Captain Kidd, and they truly are multi-chrome. Are they as foil and intense as like a Cleonad or a Terra Moon? No, they are not. But they're also like $6, $7, $8 or something like that each. And there are a couple of cool shades. This one that is called Robin Hood, I have been using as a highlighter as well. That is not pan, by the way. That's not pan. Just so you know, I haven't been using it that much. But yeah, I really do like these, but they're not as intense as a shadow like that. So, and sometimes you do get what you pay for, but I do think they're really, really beautiful. And if you wanted to try out a multi-chrome shadow, you didn't want to get singles and you don't want to pay $20 for one, maybe trying these out for a lower cost could be a nice way to get into it, because they're definitely not bad shadows. They're definitely good shadows. I just don't think that they compare to some of those like extremely more, I don't want to say high quality, but like extreme multi-chromes that often are sold for a higher price tag. Like this one from Gourmande Cosmetics. This is the Trove palette, and this is a multi-chrome quad. And this one, I think you can even see it in like just how it behaves with the light. It is just a more extreme multi-chrome. These are 4 multi-chromes in a quad. I don't remember the price, but I'm fairly certain that this is kind of expensive, because you're getting really good quality. I did see that Nomad Cosmetics released their multi-chromes as singles, not in a palette, but like in like the single pans, and those were more affordable in the grand scheme of things. So maybe some brands truly have like cracked the code of like how to do more affordable multi-chromes, but usually I will say 9 times out of 10 when it comes to multi-chromes, you do get what you pay for, and the quality of the Trove palette is absolutely amazing. These are black based dual multi-chromes that really have a very significant shift to them. But again, they're pretty pricey, but if you're the kind of person that just wanted some multi-chromes that are more this like on this like darker side, these are not topper shades, and you didn't want to buy singles, I would recommend this one. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I have a lot of multi-chromes, and had this not been sent to me as PR, would I have bought it with my own money? That I don't know, because like I don't need something like this in my collection, but I can't deny that it's good quality, and that's why it's ranking a little bit lower on this list. I do have a collab with a bunch of these brands like Colourpop and Game Beauty and Blend Money and a couple of things that are coming up. Everything like that will be down below in the description box. In case you are interested in anything, I'm going to be linking if I have dedicated videos. I'm going to be trying and linking all of these stuff, and also putting discount codes if I have any. I want to mention this, wow, I'm not making sense. This is such an unexpected like love for me, because I really do like love these. The only thing that's not putting this on like the top, these Kasha Beauty, like, well, there's not even a name on it. They're like a lip and cheek stain. The only thing that's not putting this on top is, for me, this doesn't really work as a cheek stain because I feel like it's sticky. I feel like it's a little sticky, but it smells like a little fruity without being too sweet, and this does stain, and it gives a sheer glossy result on the lips, and then it gives a sheer really believable and beautiful stain on the lips. This is not a super pigmented stain like the Fenty Beauty stain. This is more of a sheer stain, but it is so beautiful and so wearable and just so easy to use. Really have been enjoying these. I just wish that they had like there's no sticker. Like, I don't know what shade this is. Like, I have no idea. The name's a mystery, but it's a good product. Next, I want to mention a little bit more of a colorful palette from Colourpop, and this is the Winx Club palette that they released. This is basically like a rainbow palette, but it has some different undertones to it. There's like some raspberry pinks, there is some oranges and some more muted pastels. There's almost like a lime green mint teal thing going on here, and then there's this light yellow that is one of my favorite formulas from Colourpop, which is a pastel matte with shimmers in it. Ugh, I love when they do shades like this. And then there are some blues here. For me, this palette is a little shimmer heavy, and I'm also, like, my personal preference, I'm missing a darker matte to deepen up with, but it's not that hard for me to be like reaching in and getting something else. One example would be the palette that I'm gonna mention in just a bit, but I think that this is a beautiful palette, and I think they did a really good, I think they did a good job with curating a nice color story that is a rainbow palette without being predictable, because there's an iridescent topper, there's some glitter shades, there's some mattes, there's some... I think it's nice, and I did enjoy this palette. Even though it's not my favorite Colourpop palette, I still think it's good, and I think they were able to capture at least what I'm seeing on the front here. I'm gonna say a little old to have watched the Winx cartoon when I was a kid, because, well, when I think that when Winx came out, I was basically like, you know, at nightclubs, not home watching cartoons. Let's just put it like that. The next thing I want to mention is it's right here. It's the Chucky palette by Glamlight. I think the quality of this palette is amazing. This is what it looks. This is what I said. Like if I wanted to have something deep, I definitely have options. The only reason why this one isn't higher is because this is very, very cool tone and it has a lot of gray options, and it's basically the only eyeshadow color that I never really want to wear. It's the only eyeshadow color where I'm like, oh, that's not for me. It's grays. I love silver or like this like charcoal metallic is this color is so beautiful. I love it black. I love the reds and the burgundies and the like the purple leaning colors. It's just that the only lighter light transition shade is either this one or this one, and this color story, even though I think the color story is really wonderful and I love that it's dark, it is not the perfect color story for me because I don't like cool tones as much as I like warm tones, and I don't love grays. Grays is my least favorite color to wear on my eyeshadows, but I do love all the other colors. Like the dark reds are absolutely amazing. If you missed the Melt and Beetlejuice, I think it's called the Waiting Room palette, look at this packaging. I think you would really enjoy this one instead. Again, I think it's great quality. I love the Glamlight quality. It's just the color story is like not perfect for me. I'm also going to mention the M Cosmetics bronzer. I really do enjoy this bronzer. I think it's a really good bronzer. The packaging is a little basic, but doesn't smell like anything. I think the color works out really good as well. There's been 1 or 2 times when I've used this one where I've like hit a little bit of a snag and it lifted a little bit of my foundation, but that could be me if we're being honest, because sometimes it's us. Sometimes it's not the makeup, but it also does tell me that it's not 100% foolproof like some other products that I have where I literally could be paying no attention at all and still be getting a really good result. Do like it though, and I really do recommend it. I think it's a really, really good product. I also really love this one, and I saw my friend Samantha March did not like love this one, and this is the Makeup Forever. It's their like contour face palette. It's not a contour palette, it's an all-in-one face palette, and this is for light to medium. They also have a tan to deep, if I'm not totally mistaken. This was sent to me as PR. I would have never bought this had it not been sent to me as PR, but on me this wears and looks beautiful. Samantha has dry skin and I have normal combo skin, so I think that could be the reason why we didn't love it equally. So if you have dry skin, maybe check out what she says about it. And again, if you don't need an all-in-one face palette, do you need this one? No. I'm just here to let you know that I really do like it. And when I went on my cruise together with some of my friends, I did bring this one as my only foundation and bronzer option because I felt like I had everything I needed here. So I have been enjoying this one, and it wears really beautiful on me. It does not get super oily and it does not break up on me. But yeah, just note that if you have dry skin, this might not be for you. And also, I just like pointing out, this is the all-in-one face palette. Like, do you need that? Also keep that in mind. But this is just me reviewing the product. I think I'm gonna get cancelled for saying this, so listen, hear me out. Don't click out immediately when you see me holding this product up. Don't unsubscribe, but this is the Rare Beauty highlighters. I have mine in Accelerate. I think I am the only beauty influencer on the entire face of the earth that did not get this in PR. I think these are good, but I'm not blown away for the simple reason that I feel like these are almost too much, and I feel like they almost look a little obvious on like they're so highlighty that they look almost a little obvious on my skin. And there's nothing about these that is like a believable lit from within. Like I don't feel like there's a way to put on just a little bit of these. These are like an all-in kind of a product, and I don't always feel like that. So for that reason, I only use this when I really want that beaming 2016 glow. That's when I use this, and it is really good at that. It gives you a wet look. It is very, very, very glowy, but I also feel like it a little bit accentuates like the texture that you have, and it's definitely looking makeup-y. And I don't hate that, but like, in a way, I am surprised that this is the highlighter product we're getting from Rare Beauty, because I'm like, it's a little bit out of character. I don't hate it, but I don't love it as much as other people do. And that surprises me because I do love a nice glow. Like, I'm wearing another product that we're going to be talking about in a little bit. And I also wanted to mention the Danessa Myricks blush. This one is in Bellini. This is the Yummy Skin blushes. I really like these. I think these are really beautiful. This would have been even higher if I could buy it with a shimmer in it. I also thought in the pictures that it was going to be more of a yellow leaning orange, like not like the color of my cinch brushes, but I thought it was going to be just like a little bit more like my nails maybe. I thought it was going to be a little bit more yellow in it, but this one is definitely more of a coral. It has a lot of pink in it. So it's not like a true orange. So if you like an orangey color that's leaning more towards the corals, this is definitely a coral, not an orange. Really love this formula though. I love it so much. It's so easy to work with. I think it's so easy when you use your finger, you can really sheer it out. You can have a sheer result. If you use a brush, you can really get a lot of color on there. And I think it is a really versatile product, and I think it looks beautiful on the skin, beautiful enough so that I actually have a second color in my wish list for the Sephora sale that's upcoming. Let's talk about then the highlighter that I am wearing, and this is, I think it's called like a Pastel Plexi Glow. This is the highlighter that I have on today. I think that this is a really good formula of a highlighter. This is not the same formula as Natasha Denona has in the palette. This is more of a powder highlighter. In the marketing pictures, this was seen as being more of a like a pink to a green. I think you can see there's a little bit of a pinky corner here, and it's going down to a little bit of a green. I will say, regardless if you pick it up from the green corner or the pink corner or where it's a little bit more vanilla white, it's gonna look exactly the same on the skin. It's gonna be this vanilla yellow champagne with a little bit of a green undertone. It is a beautiful formula. It looks wonderful on the skin. I just kind of wish that it didn't have this like color thing, because I honestly, they're the same. They are the same. There is no difference. Oh my god, there are so many good things left. I honestly don't know what to mention next because I think they're all bangers. I was like looking at them now and I'm like, I don't know where to begin because these are all amazing products. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? Okay, let's start with this one because honestly, I absolutely love this. I have to put something next and I'm gonna explain why it's this one. This is the Blue Velvet palette from Colourpop. This is, according to me, awesome blue eyeshadows. Great quality blue eyeshadows. Is this the same as the Blue Moon? No, but it's so similar that you definitely do not need both. Why do I have both, you ask? Because I'm a savage and I love having blue eyeshadows in my collection, okay? Don't come for me. So I bought this one myself from Target. I do have a video where I'm using and going through basically all the makeup that Colourpop has available at Target. If you're interested in that, leave that video down below. And I'm using this palette. I think this is an incredible quality. Blues are always going to be a little bit more tricky to work with than neutral because of how the pigment reacts and because of your skin tone. It doesn't like necessarily 100% blend in. It's just trickier, and I do talk about that. I'm fairly sure I talk about that in the video. Do I? I have videos where I talk about that. Am I making this up? I don't think I'm making this up. The reason why I'm putting this lower is because this is in the plastic packaging, which Colourpop has when they're in Target, because they don't have testers, so you need to be able to see like what the palette looks like when you're in the store. This one is also their new pressed glitter formula, which honestly is more like an eyeshadow with glitter in it, and it is a really pretty eyeshadow. Personally, I would have wished for something that's more of a sparkly metallic than this one that is just leaning, not like it's a pressed glitter, but it needed to be a little bit more refined to be a sparkly metallic in my eyes. I don't think that it is a pressed glitter. There is no eye safety warning at all in this palette, but if you are looking for a blue eyeshadow palette, I cannot recommend this one enough. Let's stop talking about that one. Let me then talk about, oh my god, this is so hard. What am I supposed to talk about? They're all so good. They're all so good. Let me mention this one then, because this one also has a couple of grays in it. And again, it means that I'm not going to be able to use all the shades because I don't love grays. And this is the Verona palette that Nomad did for Valentine's Day. It opens up like this. And there is a love side and there is a death side. And as you can see, The Love side has a lot of those shades that I really love, the pinks and the reds together, and then on the Death side, there is a couple of grays that I personally will not get use out of because I don't love grays on me, and I know some people really do love grays, so maybe that could be for you. I love the color story in this palette though. I don't know what I would have wished for instead. I think grays make perfect sense on the Death side. I'm not mad about the fact that they're there. I do like this palette. I love the looks that I did with this one. I have a video up on this one. And overall, I think this is a really, really good palette. As I'm filming this, I still haven't used the new palette from Nomad, but I think that you have already seen the video where I'm doing one with the Royal Europe palette. Do I like this more than I like the... No, I think I love the Monteverde Cloud Forest more than I like this one, right? But maybe this one is on second? If it didn't have the grays, maybe we'd be talking a little bit different. The other thing that I have on my cheeks today is actually these blushes from Half Magic Beauty. These are the cheek fluffs. This is the color that I have on. This is the Magic Brownie. This is like a cream to powder formula that picks up beautifully with the brush. I've been using these with a brush. I've been using them with a finger. I have the Magic Brownie on today. It's like an almost reddish clayey brown. It's such a beautiful formula. It blends out seamlessly and beautifully and blends into other products. I also have been using the shade Pink Mushroom, which has a little bit of a shimmer to it. I think you can see. So this is almost like a little bit of a shimmery peach. Ugh. I did get sent these as PR, and these are like compostable compartments. So if you don't want to keep it in here, you can put it in a C palette. I kind of like having them in here. They're like a little green compact. I kind of like it, and the color is on the back. But yeah, these are magnetic. So if you want to have them in a magnetic palette, that's definitely like possible as well. And then you can compost these little thingamajiggies. Okay, let's talk about the Valentine's palettes from Unearthly Cosmetics. This was the mystery box. I think by now everybody got it right. Everybody got their mystery box and they opened it. There was this blush palette in here, and you know me, I don't love blush palettes. I don't love when things get big and bulky. Well, that's not what she said, but I don't love when makeup gets big and bulky, especially when it's cheek products. I almost always reach for singles or duos, but the formula is beautiful. These are duochromes. You see, it's an orange to like a yellowy orange to like a coral, and there's a warm pink. Like you can see there's like things going on here. Super, super beautiful formula. I have heard rumors in the corridors that this formula is coming into singles, and nobody could be happier than me, or maybe duos. I don't remember. Or maybe not singles. Maybe they're coming back. I don't remember. But I've heard rumors in the corridors that that formula is coming back, and it is a beautiful glowy blush formula. It's absolutely stunning. And then we have the palette. This is the Surrender palette. Unearthly Cosmetics does not do a lot of neutral palettes, and I gotta say, this is a great neutral palette. You have some browns, you have like the pink and the red matte, ugh, love it. The dark burgundy, like this peachy, almost clayey color, and then this warm caramel color that's over here. And you have some like duochrome, some topper, some metallic. There are different formulas in here. Honestly, this is a really pretty palette, and I wouldn't be mad to see this one come back to her line because of how nice and interesting of a neutral leaning palette this is, because it has some other elements going on as well. And I love the quality of Unearthly Cosmetics, and she recently did a big restock as well, so I will link the website down below, so check that out if there was any palettes that you've been wanting to try from the brand that you haven't been able to try. This is the second palette in the collaboration between Game Beauty and Royal... Wait, hold. Persona 5 Royal. Okay, that's the one. I don't know. My brain shut down. This grungy color story that has a little bit of like color. There's a mint, there's a blue, there's this one like almost like a clay... a mix between a clay red and a mauve, and then this absolutely stunning mustard, and these like shimmers are so beautiful. Honestly, this palette is the perfect mix between color and neutrals with a grungy twist. I really like it, and the quality of this palette is absolutely stunning. This is my not my favorite part of the collection. I'm gonna mention one more thing after this, but this truly is a really beautiful palette, and you should really check out the video where I am playing with this one. I also have a reel when I'm playing with this one that I'm actually playing with this palette. In the video I'm actually playing with the other palette I talked about, but this is so good. Definitely recommend it. I am so excited. I'm always excited to see indie brands go from good to great, and this palette truly shows all of us that Game Beauty is not here to play. Well, Game Beauty play. The best thing though are the liners. Holy bananas, these liners are so good. There are 6 different colors. Some of them are a little bit more neutral. There's a blue, there's a gray, there's a black. Listen, but those are great. Love those. I'm happy you're here. But the yellow, the yellow, oh my god. And then the green. I mean, these are like, they're so incredibly good. They're so great. I am very impressed with how these are. I don't know what to say. I really love these. If you love colored liners as having as details, there is a white one here as well. Maybe it's not gray, maybe it's the white. Yeah, this one is also, I forgot that there was a, like, look at this white one. Really good liners. They're absolutely amazing. I'm so happy to have these in my life, and I'm just very impressed with that product. They're great. Now I'm gonna mention the collab palettes that Nomad Beauty, Amanda from Makeup Just for Fun, and Batty Bean did with Oden's Eye. I love Oden's Eye. Oden's Eye is probably my favorite eyeshadow brand when it comes to like all over experience, because they always offer me different textures within a palette. I never have to settle with like 2 different formulas. They always give me more stuff. I also really love the way that they do their shimmers, because they're never chunky in a way that they will accentuate any of those lines and wrinkles that I have on my lids. I always feel like they just make everything look smoother. Sometimes I get a little fallout, but like I'm okay with that if my like skin doesn't look like crocodile skin. I also really love their mattes. They are pigmented and blendable, and they're still buildable, so I can build them if I want to, and I can start with the darkest if I want to. I just feel like they're so versatile, and for me, this is like the brand that does the best shadows like overall in all categories. I just really like what they do. They fit my aesthetic, and I love the colorful style of the packaging and everything. This is the Sea Talk palette. Really love this like satin chartreuse shade, and this one is so amazing, the one that's called Iridescent Shell. It is this pink to blue. I did a look where I used all 3 of these. I've had a, let me think. I've had a reel using only this one, and I had a, how did I do? Did I do 1 look with each palette? And then I did 1 video where I used all 3 of them, and then I think I have a reel where I'm using this one. Am I lying? I think that's what's happened, and I know that they've been restocked now for the last time, but I used this one on the lid and it was absolutely amazing. And this is the Flora Story, which is Amanda's palette. It is more like a muted, almost springtime greens and purples. I like that it offers 2 dark shades and 2 lighter shades, plus a neutral if you want to go more in the neutral direction. And then we have this multi-chrome topper shade over here. There's also a multi-chrome topper shade in the Planet Spirit palette by Batty Bean over here. They're not the same shifts. I do have a video where I'm using all 3 of these, and you can see in the so sometimes when you look at them in the pan, you're like, they're the same thing, but when you see them swatched out in my video, you can see that they're shifting different tones and different colors. This one is a more colorful palette, and I really have been enjoying this. I will say that when there are like really colorful mattes like these, make sure to use a little bit more of a stiffer brush, a little bit more of a denser brush. If you use something that's too flimsy, sometimes you can end up having maybe a sheerer or a patchy result depending on your technique, because sometimes the easy way of saying it is that a colorful shade like this does not behave like a beige. They just behave differently. I've not had any problems at all with any of these palettes, and I truly have been enjoying all of them. This like metallic orange here with these like, it's a little bit of a duochrome shimmer to it. It's called Animalia. Ugh, so pretty. I kind of want to use it now. You know, sometimes you look at makeup, and even though you're wearing makeup, you're like, kind of wish I had you on. You look pretty, so yeah. I don't know if these are available as I'm filming this. Like I said, when you're seeing this, because when I'm filming this, they have just been restocked for the last time. But check it out if you want to. I know sometimes people say that like they're so sad that palettes get discontinued, but most of the times when it comes to creator collabs, there's usually a contract that's being signed, because of course the creator should be paid for the work that they're doing, and there has to be an end date. So there's usually an end date on a contract, and that's usually, sometimes that could be like a really long time. Sometimes you write a new contract with a longer date, but that's sometimes the reason why we feel like all creator collabs are limited edition and being discontinued. It's just the way it is. I want to mention this one. This is the LYS Triple Fix Full Coverage Concealer. I bought this out of a recommendation of my friend Samantha March, and I really love this concealer. I think it is amazing. It is liquidy. It goes on beautifully in the under eyes, and I think that a little bit goes a long way. I would say that this is a medium buildable coverage. I will say though that if any concealer, if I put on too much, it's gonna crease, because I have a lot of small like little fine lines under my eyes, which is fine. I mean, it's age, it happens to all of us. The only thing I don't like is this, that it seems a little like I'm gonna bend and break it when I put it back in. But the formula of this one, it is a medium to buildable coverage. It is very lightweight, and it's almost a little bit like serum like in the consistency, which makes it look very flawless and skin like under your eyes, and it wears beautifully. It doesn't gunk up, it doesn't break down, it doesn't look cakey under the eyes. If you have more mature under eyes like me, definitely look into this one. It is a beautiful concealer, definitely recommend it. Okay, let's now go to the Muse palette by Cosmic Brushes. I really do enjoy this one. This is the second palette that she did, and it is the same great quality as she has done before. I love a color story like this. Of course, the one that's before, the Serenity palette, it's a little bit more up my alley, because I do be loving a really bright, colorful look, but I also think there's some really good like neutral options or more muted options here. If you like color, but you maybe don't want to have like primal colors, I really think that this is more an approachable, maybe a little bit more muted and quote unquote wearable. I hate using that term because everything's wearable, but I definitely think that if you were looking at the Serenity palette and you were like, wow, that's maybe a little bit too much, definitely think that this could be for you. There's a beautiful like pink peach duochrome down here. This is a topper shade that's like a violet duochrome topper. There's some really nice formulas in here. Definitely another palette that is more than one kind of a formula, and the matte formula from Cosmic Brushes really is a solid, awesome formula. And it's a very affordable palette as well. And this has just quickly become another one of my favorite eyeshadow brands. And just above that, I am gonna mention the Nomad Cosmetics Allure palette. I mean, it's the color story for me. Look at this. Look at how beautiful this is. It's so pretty. I really like that she's keeping true to herself with giving us a row of light, a row of midtones, and a row of really dark ones, and then a row of shimmers. But she's making it a little bit smaller, and I just really like this. I did 2 different looks with this one on YouTube. Did I do a reel as well? Because I know I've worn it a couple of other times. I've worn it a couple of other times, but I don't remember if I filmed it or not. But overall, absolutely stunning palette. Oh, I used this one in the video where my husband Ricardo was picking my makeup. That's when I used it on YouTube. For that I remember, because I used some of the green ones. It is a beautiful color story. Again, if you like some blues and some greens, this could be really nice. There's only 1 row of shimmers. I mean, I like that because I like shimmers, but I'm a matte girly. So yeah, for me, this is just beautiful. I think this is stunning, and I'm so happy that she added something like this to her collection. And per usual, I cannot wait to see what she will do in the future. And we're at position number 1. What do you think it's gonna be? And I have to give it to the Glow Recipe Strawberry BHA Pore Smooth Blur Drops. This is a pore refining and blurring primer, and this says blur pores in 30 seconds with this treatment and primer in one. This is meant to blur your pores and to keep your skin matte. I don't know about blurring your pores. I'm gonna be honest, I don't personally think I have any problems with pores. And I also don't think there's anything wrong with skin looking like skin, but this really does keep my skin matte. I can visibly see and feel a difference when I'm wearing this before makeup on how long my makeup lasts, how fresh it looks for a longer time throughout the day. When I went to Houston to go on the Houston Rodeo with my friends, we went to the fair and went on all the rides and ate all the deep fried stuff. I wore this one and then I wore the Juvia's Place, their Luminous foundation on top, and it looked flawless for 12 hours. So I cannot tell you enough how happy I am to have this in my life. And if you have an oily T-zone or if you have oily skin and you want to try something new, I definitely recommend this one. It also has a really nice texture. Look, it is like serum-like. It is liquidy. It is not like a thick, goopy. It is not silicone-y. It is like a serum, just serum gel. Smells a little bit like the strawberry, nothing overwhelming, and it just goes into the skin and it just feels and looks nice. Does it feel and look a little smoother? Yeah, it does. It does look a little smoother. So I guess it is a little smoothing, but like it all is. That's not the reason why I'm wearing it, but for me it really makes a difference. So if you have been eyeing this one, I would definitely recommend it. And if you can get some money off during the Sephora sale, put it in your wish list and buy it during the Sephora sale. You can get some money off. I truly think that that one makes a difference, and I'm very happy I found it. Okay, let me know, have you tried any products as of late that you've been really loving, that you've been really hating? I would love to hear about it down below. Maybe we have some similar favorites. Maybe we don't. Maybe I've been missing out. Maybe you can help me, you know, take one for the team and let me know which things not to try. And don't forget to subscribe before you leave, because I will have a video very soon again, and I hope you're having a great day. Bye!